samadhi or vipassana. So I am sharing my screen, then I will discuss with you. So is it visible? Screen is visible or not, Gargi?
Yes.
It is visible, huh?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes. It is
So,
visible.
okay. So now we are going to the second lecture of that is on mindfulness. That is the Satipatthana. That how then Ditti Visuddhi, Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, Patipada Yana Darshan Visuddhi, Yana Darshan Visuddhi. So these 7 types of purifications we have already seen. Now comes to the Satipatthana, that is the mindfulness. So the essence of Vipassana, that is the, we have already seen that what is the Vipassana? That Vipassana is nothing but it is insight through which a person is able to know that all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, all dhammas are subject to soulless. That is the sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha, sabbe dhamma anatta. So this is the vipassana. It has been defined as anicca, dukkha, anatta adi basena विशेष प्रकारेण भक्ति इति विपස්සना. So this is called as insight. It has been interpreted in different ways, but in a very you can say brief manner, I will say that vipassana is nothing but it is anupassana. So here anu is that which follows again and again. and Passana is to visualize or to see the things as they really appear. So Anupassana is that to visualize the nature of the truth as they really appear. This Anupassana is practiced by the disciple called discipline called as Satipatthana, which is translated as a mind foundation of the mindfulness. As we know that Satipatthana has a great significance, and for having the vipassana, a person has a, you can say, bhavana of anapan sati or anapan smriti. So will come that how anapan smriti has been discussed under the satipatthana, or you can say the, and this Satipatthana we are also having in the name of Mahasatipatthana in the text. It is called as Digha Nikaya, that Mahasatipatthana. So this is the text. There are two suttas which are available. In the name of Satipatthana Majjhima Nikaya we are having, and in the name of Mahasatipatthana Sutta it is available in the Digha Nikaya. So Naiponik Ther in the he says that Satipatthana is the heart of meditations. So Satipatthana is made up of two words, Sati and Patthana. Here Sati is Smriti or mindfulness. Sati has been defined as a Sati Dwarikyo Vyeti Badami. That Sati or mindfulness is just like a doorkeeper, Dwarikyo Vya. That is just a doorkeeper does not allow any undesirable person to enter into the house. In the same way, mindfulness, sati, does not allow any immoral factor or any immoral state to enter on the surface of mind. So this is the sati. There are four types of sati. It has been said as a kayanupassana sati, vedananupassana sati, chittanupassana sati, and dhammanupassana sati. So these are the four types of, you can say, mindfulness which have been discussed in the Satipatthana Sutta of Majjhima Nikaya. So the Buddha also says that this is the only path, that is the sati or kayanupassana, vedananupassana, chittanupassana, and dhammanupassana. So this is the only, you can say, path through which a person can get a state of eternal bliss. That is why in the beginning of Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha says that ekayano evam maggo sat ekayano evam maggo sattanam visuddhiya chattaro satipatthana kayanupassana, vedananupassana, chittanupassana, and dhammanupassana. So this is, you can say, this is the only path through which a person can get a state of eternal bliss. So Lord Buddha has taught that there is only one path leading to the purification of human being, overcoming sorrow and lamentations, that is the dukkha and upayasa, and for destroying pain and grief, that is the dukkha or domanassa, and for reaching the right path of realization of nibbana, which is the way of fourfold foundation. So this is the ekayanoyam maggo sattanam visuddhya. So this is the, there are four types of mindfulness. They are kayanupassana, vedananupassana, chittanupassana, and dhammanupassana. Kayanupassana is also made up of three words, kaya, anupassana. Kaya means that is body, anu means that which follows again and again, and passana means to see or to visualize. So kayanupassana is the awareness related with the physical activities or the activities related with our 32 parts of the body. How we have to behave with others, the how we have to sit down, how we have to stand up, and how we have to walk down. So all activities being related with that, you can say being aware of all the activities of the body is called as Kayanupassana. We know there are 32 parts of our body. So being aware of all the activities of 32 parts of our body, like Chakhu has the only activity to see the things in the same manner, Srot, Gran, Jiva, Kaya, Man, and other parts of the body. There are 32 parts. So each activity related with the body is called as Kayanupassana. Second is called as Vedana Anupassana, that being aware of all types of feeling is called as Vedana Anupassana. Vedana is called as feeling. That Vedana has been defined as Anubhavana Lakhanati Vedana. So Vedana is here that being by touching the whenever there is a experience, this is called as Vedana. That it has the characteristics of being experienced by touching anything. There are five senses: Chakhu, Sot, Ghan, Jihva, Kai, and Man. And there are six types of objects also: Roop, Sad, Gandh, Ras, Sprastabhya, and Dhammayatana. So, being related with being aware of all these six types of our feelings related with our six types of senses is called as Vedana. Vedana is of, you can say, there are three types basically, that is the Sukha Vedana, Dukha Vedana, and Upekha Vedana, Upeksha Vedana. Again, Sukha Vedana is of two types, so Manasa Vedana, Sukha Vedana, and Dukha Vedana is also two types, Do Manasa Vedana and Dukha Vedana, and Upeksha is only. So here, so Manasa Vedana is that type of pleasant feeling which is being experienced by our body and mind both. So this is the Somanas Vedana. And whenever there is any pleasant feeling which is being experienced by our only body, it is called as Sukha Vedana. In the same manner, Dukha Vedana is that type of feeling which is experienced by only our body. And Domanas Vedana is that type of unpleasant feeling which is being experienced by our body as well as our mind. And the last is called as Upekha, that is the Mudjanesu Upekha, that which arises among the folds, and that is called as only mental, only manasik, not you can say physical. Uh, so this is so being aware of all five types of Vedana is called as Vedana Nupassana. As you know, that there are 63 types of consciousness which are related with the Sukha Vedana. And we have also discussed in our earlier lecture that there are 51 types of consciousness which are related with the thrill of pleasant sensation, that is the Priti or Priti. So, but Domanas Vedana and Dukha Vedana, there are three types of only feelings which are called as Dukha Vedana. And Upekha, there are altogether 55 types of consciousness out of 121 types of consciousness which are called as Upekha Vedana. Now, next is called as Chittanupassana, being aware of all 89 or 121 types of consciousness. They are called as Chittanupassana. As we know that Chitta has been defined as Alamman Chinteti Ti Chittam Bijanati Ti Yacho. That Chit is that which thinks of an object, and it is in the sense of knowing of that object is called as Chit. They are 89 or 121 types of consciousness. They have been classified on the basis of class, that is the Kushala, Akusala, Vipak, and Kriya. And on the basis of the Bhumi, they have been classified under the Kamavachar Bhumi, Rupavachar Bhumi, or Rupavachar Bhumi, and Lokuttar Bhumi. And all the 89 and 121 types of consciousness, they have been classified on the basis of the class and the Bhumi, that is the Jati, or you can say that is the planes of existence. They are called as Chittanupassana. Lastly, it is called as Dhammanupassana. So here Dhamma is in the sense of Panch Nivarana, Dwadas Ayatana, Panchakhanda, 18 Dhatu, Chattari or Satchani, Four Noble Truth, Law of Dependent Origination, Law of Conditionality. So being aware of all these Dhammas are called as Dhammanupassana. So a Yogavachar who is in an ardent, who is you can say on the path of getting a state of eternal bliss, and through the stages of Samatha and Vipassana, he has to undertake the sati or mindfulness. So these four are required by a Yogavachar who is desirous for having a stage of Samatha and Vipassana. So these have full consideration of benefits of the men leading towards the state of Nibbana. It is not advisable for all to follow all the four. Now there is another term which is coming for the sati, which is called as sampajana, sampajanya. So here sampajanya has been defined as samma pakarehi anicca adi bas janati iti sampajayam. That when a Yogavachar comes to know about that anicca, dukh and anatta, that all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, and all dhammas are subject to soulless, then knowing this in a very proper manner or in a very right manner, this is called as sampajanya. And again, it has been defined as samananto pakarehi pakatham va visesam janati ti sampajano. So that is why Buddha always says that sampajano bhikkhu biharati, that a person who is aware of all the kayanupassana, vedanupassana, chittanupassana, and dhammanupassana. So in this way, he knows each and everything in a very a special manner, sabhisesam, and samananto pakarehi, in a very right manner. This is called as sampajano. Now here sampajano, the what is you can say that samaj ya paiya pajanana vichayo dhamma vichayo sa lakhana upalakhana pachupalakhana pandicham kosalam nepuyam bevhaya chinta upkarikha bhuri medha pari नायिका विपස්සना sampajayam sammaditthi idam bucchati sampajayam. So now there is a term sampajaya which can be understood by the 2-3 terms like sammaditthi and dhamma vichaya and panya. As we know that panya has been defined as a Obhasana Lakhana Panya, that it has the characteristics of enlightening any person, or Chedan Lakhana Panya, that it has the characteristics of cutting off the immoral dhammas. So in that way, knowing the cutting off the immoral dhammas is called as Panya, or enlightening any person is called as Panya. Again, there is another term, Sammaditthi. There is a Sammaditthi Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. Samadhi has been defined that a person who knows the Four Noble Truth, one who knows that there are 10 types of akusala mula, there are 10 types of akusala, there are 10 types of kusala, there are 10 types of kusala mula, and in that way he knows that what is the samadhi, or one who is in possession of the right views. Again, it is in Sammaditthi Sutta, it is said that a person who knows the Four Noble Truth, that there is a suffering, there is a cause of suffering, there is a cessation of suffering, there is a path which leads towards the cessation of suffering, that there is, it is said that Dukkham Arya Satcham, Samudaya Arya Satcham, Dukh Nirodham Arya Satcham, Dukh Nirodha Gamani Patipadarya Satcham. Knowing all these four noble truths, this is called as you can say Sammaditthi. Again, one who knows the 12 types of Nidanas, 12 links of the law of dependent originations from Avijja to Jati Marana, this is called as Sammaditthi. And again, one who knows the four types of Asavas, Kamasav, Bhavasav, Dithiyasav, Avijjasav, he is in the position of the Saya Sammaditthi or the right views. So here Sampajanya is in the sense of knowing, that is the, you can say, wisdom, that is the pragya or panya, or in another way it is the Sammaditthi. There are other terms also like Dhamma Vichaya or Dhamma Pravichaya, that it is in the sense of analysis of the dharma or the, you can say, teachings of the Buddha. In that way it is called as, you can say. So in that way a Yogavachar dwells being ardent in the four stages of the Satipatthana, that is the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana. And again, it is said that Vedananupassana, that Vedana Samosaranas Sabbe Dhamma. So here, one Yogavachar who is following the Vedana Nupassana, he is in the field of getting all, you can say, a state of eternal bliss. So now, what are the benefits of these four types of mindfulness? That is the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, and Dhammanupassana. And we have discussed about the, you can say, there are 6 types of temperaments also. So out of the 6 types of temperaments, there is a, you can say, temperament or the temperament related with the Tanha and Ditti also. So here Tanha is Trishna or Ditti is the Mithya Drishti. So here the first two, Kayanupassana and Vedananupassana, are the path for the persons with the dominance of attachment, that is called as Tanha Charita, or engaged in getting purification through Samatha. So in the Samatha, we have seen that there is the Rupa Jhan and Arupa Jhan, that removal of the 5 types of Nivarnas, and getting a state of concentration on the 4 objects, Akasa Chaitan, Bhyan Chaitan, Akin Chaitan, Nev Sanya, Na Sanya Aitana. This is called as, you can say, the person who has, you can say, dominance of attachment, a person who has association with the desire or tanha. So, first of all, a Yogavachar has to remove the tanha by removing the, you can say, 5 types of hindrances or nivarnas. There also a person exerting sluggishly in his process takes Kayanupassana as his path, and that who exerts sharply chooses Vedananupassana. Suppose a person who is very, you can say, not diligent in undertaking the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana or Chittanupassana as his path, and he generally takes Vedananupassana. So this, in that way, the consciousness of the former is gross in comparison to latter. So a person who is undertaking Kayanupassana, that is gross in comparison to a person who is taking a Vedananupassana. The Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana are the path of the persons who are desiring getting purification through Vipassana. So for the Vipassana, a person, we have seen, and for the samatha, only the kayanupassana and vedananupassana. So those who are sluggish in their nature and those who are associated with the tanha charita, they are supposed to remove those by the, you can say, rupa jhan and arupa jhan under the samat bhavana. But here for vipassana bhavana, this chittanupassana and dhammanupassana are the path of the persons who are desiring, who are desirous of getting purification through vipassana. They are the persons of temperament dominated by the false views, that is the Ditti Charita. Now, Acharya Buddha Ghosa in the Sumangal Bilasani remarks that in a very brief manner, that in English I am telling you that it is evident that each of the four mindfulness is a complete path in itself. A man either knowing his temperament by himself or by with the help of others, with the help of a Kalyan Mitra, selects a path of his practice and thereby gets purifications and realization of Nibbana. So here in Vipassana Bhavana, we have seen that how a Yogavachar chooses Kalyan Mitra for selecting any one of the 40 objects of meditations. So now we are coming to the Vipassana Bhavana, that how a Yogavachar under the Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana, he has to develop his consciousness. So here, Chittanupassana by way of aggregate, that is the Pancha Skandha, Rupa Skandha, Vedana Skandha, Sanya Skandha, Sanskara Skandha, and Vijnana Skandha. And character and insight. Character is here by the Charja, or you can say bodhicharya, you can say, and insight, that is the vipassana. So the placement of the mindfulness of mind correspond to the aggregate of jnana. It is suitable for those who is dull and possesses a propensity of ditti, that is the, you can say, theorizing type, that who are sluggish in their nature, and a meditator knows that impermanence as insight. Here, a Yogavachar thinks that all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, and all dhammas are subject to soulless, as a vipassana bhavana, that is the insight practice. So this is the chart, if you see, with and without sarag. Whenever a person, a Yogavachar, is attached with the lust, that is the raga, then there is the great moha, mahagat. So he has the more, you can say, lust related with the tanha charita. So with and without, that is the dosa, that is unsurpassable, that is the anuttara. And this is the sammoha, that is the concentration, that is the samahita, and there is the vikhitta, that is the lastly vimutta. Next is the dhammanupassana. So through the dhammanupassana, that being aware of all dhammas, that is the teachings of the Buddha related with the law of dependent originations, Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path, and others. So this is, you can see, the placement of the mindfulness of phenomena correspond to the aggregate of sanya and sankhara. We have seen in the last that only the, you can say, vedana, that was in the case of the chittanupassana. So here, that is the sanya and sankhara, skandha, they are mainly related with the dhammanupassana. So it is suitable for those who are sharp in their intellect or sharp in intelligentsia, and a meditator knows that the non-self nature as insight. So here a Yogavachar knows that all things are soulless, that there is no permanent entity in the personality of a being. So here again, that is Acharya Buddha Ghosh has given in a very detailed manner. I think this is not in a very until unless one who has the knowledge of Pali text, he cannot understand it. So I am skipping this slide. The next. So now the questions arise that how do meditators contemplate other people's bodily phenomena such as breathing in and breathing out. The second question that how do meditators contemplate the mental phenomena of other persons such as miscellaneous states of mind. So there are two questions that how a yogavachar contemplates on the bodily phenomena and the second is the you can say mental phenomena. So these now the we are coming to the remarks that having investigated the body, the meditator searches for the cause of attachment to it, which is found to be pleasant feeling. So, if you a person who investigate the roop, that this roop, or you can say the body is nothing but it is a heap or aggregate of the four Mahabhuta, that is the Patvi, Apo, Tejo, Bayo, and 24 types of Upada Roop, that is the generator method qualities. Then he searches that all are dependent on cause and conditions. So, whenever there is a pleasant feeling, there is a cause of attachment also. Investigating feelings, the question who experiences the feeling. We have seen there are five types of feelings. That is the Somanasa Vedana, Sukha Vedana, Domanasa Vedana, Dukha Vedana, and Upekha Vedana. How arises and leading to contemplations of the mind. Next, this in turn forms a basis for an inquiry into the causes and conditions of the mind, being the focus of contemplation of the Dhammanupassana. So, this is the now through this a Yogavachar comes to know about the causes of, that is the Hetu and the Pratyay of our mind, which is the focus of the Dhammanupassana. Mahasi Sadhu, who happened to be a great expounder of our meditation technique in Myanmar, he interprets that contemplating others' body or mind as contemplating others' body or mind by inference, that is the perception, after having contemplated one's own body and mind. Again, internal and external occur together in a sense of whatever there is, expressing a sense of comprehending. So, again, there is an inference perception through the Sanya, that here through the Sanya or Sangya, a person's come to know about the nature and the form of the and form and color of the object, and through this he analyzes the things in a better manner. The more subjective experiences can be seen objectively, the more the I identification diminishes. So here, whenever a Yogavachar thinks in that manner, that is the Dhammanupassana, the I-ness, that whenever there is a aham or there is a man, in Pali we are having the, you can say, one of the ditti false views, that there is a I-ness or oneself which diminishes. Here the I-ness is nothing but whenever there is a thinking that I am the superior one, no one is equal than me, everyone is inferior than me. This type of thinking is called as I-ness. Or whenever there is no decreasing of this I-ness, we cannot move towards a state of eternal bliss. So there is a need of removal of this I-ness, through the samatha bhavana and vipassana bhavana. So through this process, Dhamma, kayanupassana, vedananupassana, chittanupassana, and dhammanupassana, we are able to remove the I-ness in our things. So this is the again Buddha in the Sanjukta Nikaya, in the Sutta Chirathit Sutta, records that Buddha Dhamma will not decline until the Satipatthana meditation is developed and cultivated. So we have seen that how the tradition of meditation from the Buddha time till now, it is still continuing, and Buddha Dhamma has not declined. So in Myanmar or in other South Asian countries, we see that there is a tradition of meditations, Saiji Khao, or you can say this Mahasi Syadev and our S.N. Goenka ji, who is also in the tradition of the Satipatthana, who has been recorded in Myanmar. So it in Chirathit Sutta, that Chirlong meant how long our teachings of the Buddha will stay until unless we do not fail to follow the Satipatthana. So it is said that till the people will follow the Satipatthana, Buddha Dhamma will be in our state of Dhamma. Again, we see there are 4 types of Satipatthana in Mahayana Sanskrit text, that is the Bepulli Sutra, Bodhicharya Avatar. In the 9th chapter, 4 Satipatthana have been also elaborated, but it has been elaborated in a different manner. Here in Bodhicharya Avatar, Acharya Santi Dev, who has devoted that how Bodhi Chitta can be developed for the development of Karuna. So in that way, in the 9th chapter, he has given the 4-fold mindfulness that a Yogavachar or a person who has to purify his consciousness through the conduct, that is the Bodhicharya. And for Bodhicitta Charya, he has given that how Bodhicitta can be purified through the method of the Karuna and other, you can say, Sunyata. How? So there are 2 aspects of the Bodhicharya. If you go through the text, that is in Bodhicharya Avatar, Acharya Santi Dev says that there are 2 types of truth. Bodhicitta, that is the Paramartha Bodhicitta and Samritti Bodhicitta. Paramartha Bodhicitta is that type of Bodhicitta where there is the cognizance of all states, that all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, and all dhammas are subject to soulless. And through Bodhicitta Samritti, that is the ultimate bodhicitta, a person has the will to remove the suffering of others. So in that, or in the bodhicitta samvritti, a person who also aspires to attain a state of eternal bliss, that is the nibbana. So in that way, Acharya Santi Dev also emphasizes 4 types of mindfulness. That is the Kayanupassana, that here Kaya Smriti Upasthan, Vedana Smriti Upasthan, Chitta Smriti Upasthan, and Dharma Smriti Upasthan. So here Acharya Acharya Santi Dev, it is in a different manner what we have seen in our Pali text, that it being aware of all the activities of our 32 parts of our body, But here it is said that it states that no wise man should be attached to forms which are just like a dream and like illusion. So, as we know that in Madhyamaka Avatar, Acharya Nagarjuna also says that all dhammas, whether it is mental or non-mental, they are void, and all things are just like a dream or like illusion, maya or swapna. So, Kaya Smritutan that there is no wise man should be attached. So Santidev says that no person should be attached to our forms because they are these parts of our body. They are just like a maya or illusion, or you can say dream. Second, Vedana Smriti Upasthana, that it mentions that neither suffering nor joy is real or truly existence. If suffering were real, it should affect everyone, including those in a state of so-called joy. So here it is different than Acharya Santidev says that neither suffering nor joy, that is the dukkha and sukha, they are not real or they are not existing in our existence. But he says that if suffering were real, it should affect everyone, including those in a state of so-called joy. In the third, Chitta Smriti Upasthana, that there are two aspects of mind, the senses that cognize and the objects of their so-called cognition. So here it is different that in Pali Suttas, the chitta is there in the sense of 89 or 121 types of consciousness. But here Acharya Santi Dev says that there are two aspects of the mind, the senses that cognize, that there are six senses, Chakshu, Srut, Ghrana, Jihva, Kaya, and Mana, and there are objects which are cognized by the respective our senses. And lastly, Dharma Smriti Upasthana, it tells that no phenomena exist truly or intrinsically at the ultimate level. All you can say that is the Madhyamaka Avatar, we are Acharya Nagarjuna say. All things appears as real are not the fact real, but like dreams, mirages, magical illusions, and phenomena come into existence only the conditions get together. Again, there is a relations between the meditations and Abhidharma. Here, Abhidharma is in sense of metaphysics, and meditations is here that is the Smriti Upasthana. So, Paul Harrison, who has written much on the meditation, he says that how the Smriti Upasthana or foundation of mindfulness practice is expounded in the text. We see a very close linkage between meditation, which we regard as a Buddhist practice par excellence, and Abhidharma, which we might think of as immensely theoretical, scholastic, textual. So, this Smriti Upasthan technique indicates that the practical and theoretical are not so far apart after all, in that its object is not some direct, unmeditated experience of reality, as is sometimes claimed, but the perception of experience in terms of a prearranged set of categories and evaluations. For a Buddhist practicing the Smriti Upasthanas, experience does not come undifferentiated, but in particular parcels or categories. Four linkage thoughts and the dharmas. Abhidharma is the detailed systematization of the this. So this is a relations between the meditation, that is vipassana, and Abhidharma. So as we know that metaphysics or Abhidharma is a systematic study of the dharmas. So this is the. There is another text in the Mahayana also. We are having Sadharma Upasthan Sutra. So there is a Chinese text which also in the seventh chapter discusses about the four types of Smriti, that is the Kayanupassana, Vedananupasana, Chittanupasana, and Dhammanupassana. And this text has very much similarity with the Dasamumik Sutra of our Bepali Sutras. And there is also a text, Smriti Upasthan Sutra of Ekottar Agama, which also discusses four types of mindfulness. And it has been translated from Chinese versions by Bhikkhu Pasadika. So now we are coming to the last part, our you can say mindfulness. That how this mindfulness or smriti or sati brings social harmony in our society, and how mindfulness is considered as one of the aspects of engaged Buddhism or applied Buddhism. As we know that applied Buddhism or engaged Buddhism is that type of Buddhism through which the teachings of the Buddha can be applied in our day-to-day life. How the teachings of the Buddha are applied in day-to-day life, how we follow the teachings of the Buddha in day-to-day life our. So mindfulness, how as as a you can say technique of applied Buddhism or engaged Buddhism can be treated, and can how this mindfulness or smriti can bring social harmony in the society. So now there is a you can say a study of social behavior of humans giving, and this course is mainly you can say focused on the social and political thoughts of Buddhism. So, how mindfulness can be regarded as a social, you can say, thoughts, and how the teachings of the mindfulness can be applied in the society. So, I am trying to concentrate all these things. So, as we know that all conflicts in our society are mainly guided by our behaviors, and these conflict behaviors are you can say guided by our mind. That is why chittena niyati loko, that this world is been guided by our mind. And in the Dhammapada also it is said that manopuma dhamma manusyata manomaya manasa cha paduttena bhasati va karuti va tato nam dukkhamuyati chakkam va bhato padam. So mind is the forerunner of all actions. So chitta kriya is called as, again Buddha also says that chetana ham bhikkhave kammam badami. Oh monks, I say volition as a you can say action. So chititva kai kammam vachi kammam mano kammam karoti. So based upon this volition, the physical action, vocal action, and mental actions are being performed. So all the you can say behavior are guiding our mind also. So that is why it is said that we have to purify our consciousness, because chitta sankilesa sankilesanti, that whenever there are defiling factors with our mind, our consciousness is also being defiled. And whenever there is no defiling factors with our mind or chit, our mind is being purified. So we have to purify our consciousness. So these behaviors are, you can say, guided by our, you can say, the deep rooted unwholesome tendency of mind. There is a term which is coming in Sanskrit also, Anusay, and Pali also Anusay. Anusay is made up of two words, Anu and Saya. Anu is that which follows again and again. Sayati, that one who is lying. The immoral dhammas which are lying on the surface of mind, and they are being activated when they find time or they find opportunity to come out. They are seven in number: Rag Anusay, Dos Anusay, Moha Anusay, Ditti Anusay. Like that, there are seven types of Anusayas, or you can say they are called as dormant factors, or you can say sleeping factors. They are also called as deep rooted unwholesome tendencies of our mind. They are lying on the surface of mind, but they become active whenever they find time. So how these anusayas are being removed? So we have analysis in the suttas also. In the Madhupiting Sutta or Sakpanya Sutta or Mahadukha Khandak Sutta, they are also discussed. In the Sakpanya Sutta, we are having that how Matasarja, Machariya, and Irsya, these are the two things, you can say, two the akusala dhammas, which are making conflict in our mind. Or through this, we are also having conflict behavior in our society also. So Irsya and Marsa, Irsya or jealousy is that by seeing the wealth and goodness of others, we are having jealousy. So this is the one of the, you can say, main factor of conflict. And there is another, you can say, Machariya, that is the Mata Sarja, that how seeing the, you can say, miserliness related with our property and our house and other things, this is called, as you can say. So in Madhupindika Sutta also there is a stress on the that how these rag anusay, dos anusay, moha anusay, ditti anusay, they can be removed like that. And Mahadukha Khandak Sutta also we are having that how the suffering can be removed by removal of the, you can say, conflict tendencies in our society. So mindfulness, being aware of that, being alert of all our, you can say, Kayanupassana, Vedanupassana, Chittanupassana, and Dhammanupassana, we can eliminate the unwholesome tendency, that is the anusayas, and we can cultivate the kusala dhammas, that is the, you can say, moral dhammas. The next, the main purpose of the Satipatthana practice or Satipatthana bhavana is to conquer all kinds of defilements in the mind and understand the nature of the man and the universe. As we know that man and universe are interdependent on in each other. In the universe, we are having the plants and other animals also, and man is also, you can say, dependent on the nature and the society and all the animals and plants. They are also helpful in sustaining of the life of the man or personality of a human being. So in that way, Satipatthana Bhavana is to know the nature of the reality. This Satipatthana brings the total elimination of the samsaric existence, that is the process of repeated existence. And Buddhist philosophy of totality is completely different from others. Such notions, because Buddhism reduces everything by means of time and space into this fraction of time, and this little space that contains only a particle of materials. Next, by being mindfulness or sati on this very moment and very space of particle, the ultimate happiness can be gained. What the meditator realized by keeping the mere awareness can be applied to everything of this universe, whether material or non-material. That is the now come to the last portion of this lecture. that what is the importance of our mindfulness or smriti, that importance of the value of mindful meditations in knowing the law of dependent originations, cause and effect. By following the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, and Dhammanupassana, able we can be able to know the how the things are arising and how things are decreasing or disappearing, and how the hetu and the pacha, all things are subject to you can say on cause and cattle. Everything, there is no self-dependent entity. Everything comes into existence dependent on some cause and conditions. That is why Buddha also says in Madhyam Nikaya that imasmim sati idam hoti, imasmim asati idam na hoti, imas upada idam upajjati, imas nirodha idam nirujjati. That dependent on this thing, this arises, and not dependent on this doesn't arises. So, like that, it has been said. So, mindfulness or smriti or sati is very much helpful in knowing the arising and ceasing of any dhamma through the hetu and the pratyaya. Mindfulness meditation educates the human awareness, bringing about the individual and social transformation. Nowadays, also in COVID-19 epidemic, we have seen that how we are following the social distancing. Here, social distancing is nothing but here it is in the sense of physical distancing. Physical distancing is in the sense of kayanupassana, that we are being aware of the activities of our body. One has to keep a distance from other persons. So, in that way, being aware of kayanupassana, we are very much helpful. We are putting our mask on our mouth and nose also. So, being aware of all the activities of our body, one has to keep a distance from other persons. In that way, this is the mindfulness, that is the kayanupassana educates the alertness to the human being, bringing, and in this way, there is a social and individual transformation also. Mindfulness involves awareness of body, feeling, states of mind, and other dharmas as non-reactive that relieves stress and reveals the truth. Through the Anapana Smriti, we are able to, or through the meditations, we are able to relieve from our stress or any anxiety which a person has. So this is Anapana Smriti. It is very much helpful in our removal of our anxiety or stress. Mindful meditations develop observing awareness related with metta, karuna, mudita, and upekha. So we have seen in that kamathan, that is the vipassana also, that how four types of Brahma Vihar, noble state of living, that is the friendliness, compassion, unalloyed joy, and indifference can be developed. So here, through the mindfulness meditation, through the aware of Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana, we can develop metta, karuna, mudita, and upekha. So mindfulness or smriti enables a person to develop greater restraint over the, we know that there are six senses, chakshu, srot, ghrana, jiva, kaya, and mana, and there are six objects also, roop, sad, gandh, ras, sprashtabhya, dhammayatana. So each sense has its own, you can say, attachment to respective object also. So one has to restrain activities related with our senses. Otherwise, the attachment to irrespective object gives the suffering, or you can say rag, and in that way we are having any anxiety or a stress. So in that way mindful enables a person to develop greater restraint, which lead to samadhi, and to develop greater freedom through emancipation, through right understanding, that is the vipassana bhavana. We have seen that right understanding, that through the pragya, a yogavachar or a person is able to know the nature of the reality, that all things are subject to impermanence, all things are subject to suffering, and all dhammas are subject to soulless. So mindfulness is very much representing a constituent for both samath and vipassana, and for rupajhan and rupajhan, which is designated under the category of samatha, and vipassana through seven stages of purification, sat visuddhi, from the sil visuddhi, chit visuddhi, ditti visuddhi, kankha vitarana visuddhi, mag visuddhi, then patipada yan darshan visuddhi, and yan darshan visuddhi. So mindfulness presents a very much important constituent for both the vipassana and bhavana. So thank you very much. So this is about the, you can say, how mindfulness is able to give the help help or benefits to our Samath and Vipassana. So thank you very much. If you have, we have 10 minutes. So 10 minutes we can discuss some of the questions of the our participants. If they have any questions, any query, we can discuss the things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bimalda, for
Uh,
your nice exposition of this of mindfulness. You have explained, following both the Theravada texts as well as the Mahajana texts, how the